Beneath the heavy traffic of Wilshire Boulevard, millions of commuters drive over a completely different version of Los Angeles every day. If you peel back just a shallow layer of asphalt, the ground turns into a slow-moving, 40,000-year-old fossil trap. This chart shows the vertical cross-section of the Rancho La Brea tar pits, going deep into the Pleistocene. Preserved here is an unbroken record of flight. At the bottom lies Merriam's Territorn. Standing, it reached a human's hip, supported by a 14-foot wingspan. Because of its massive size, researchers long assumed it was a scavenger circling dead mammoths. But a close look at the geometry of its pelvic bone reveals a post-acetabular angle of 165 degrees. That is the exact mechanical structure of a modern walking predator. This giant chased down live prey on foot, using its massive frame as a battering ram of momentum. This graph charts the population of Ice Age megafauna against the Territorn. 11,000 years ago, the climate warmed rapidly, and the megafauna collapsed. Without that immense caloric base to fuel a 30-pound body, the Territorn starved, its population flatlining to zero. Up to that point, physical size and pure biological dominance were evolutionary advantages. But when the environment abruptly shifted, those same traits became a lethal math problem. The giants died. That leaves a question in the fossil record. What exactly does it take to survive an apocalypse? In the exact same asphalt layers that swallowed the Territorn, paleontologists pull up the bones of a much smaller contemporary, the California scrub jay. Across tens of thousands of years of volatile climate shifts, the scrub jay exhibits morphological stasis. Its body size, feather structure, and heavy acorn-cracking beak have not measurably changed since the Pleistocene. It survived the end of the Ice Age without altering its physical form. This diagram visualizes how. A single scrub jay maintains a cognitive map of over 200 separate food caches scattered across its territory. It relies on episodic memory, tracking exactly where the food is buried, the specific type of food it is, and a ticking countdown of exactly when it will spoil. Even more remarkable, they possess a theory of mind, the ability to understand the intentions of others. If another bird watches a scrub jay hide an acorn, the jay will wait until the observer leaves, dig up the food, and re-hide it in a blind spot. The scrub jay bypassed the need to physically adapt to a warming planet. A highly flexible, predictive brain acts as an evolutionary shield. They simply outfought the extinction event. If the scrub jay survived by staying exactly the same, the Anis hummingbird is surviving today through rapid physical mutation. Generating lift on both the upstroke and downstroke of a 4-inch body requires a heart rate of 1,200 beats per minute. That extreme metabolic cost means the hummingbird exists in a perpetual state of emergency, always just a few hours away from starvation. For most of its history, that fragile calorie balance kept its population restricted to Baja and extreme Southern California. Then came the post-World War II housing boom. Millions of suburban backyards were planted with year-round flowers, and artificial sugar water feeders were hung from patios. This map tracks the immediate result. A completely artificial, endless food supply eradicated natural scarcity, pushing a 4,000-mile wave of hummingbirds straight up the coast, reaching all the way to Alaska in a mere 70 years. This visual compares a museum skull from 1938 with a modern specimen from 2019. In less than a century, male Anas hummingbirds living in these dense urban sounds have evolved beaks that are measurably longer and sharper. The pressure driving this change is combat. Sugar water feeders are high-value, highly concentrated resources. Longer beaks serve as specialized weapons, selected specifically for violently stabbing rival males during territorial defense. The concrete infrastructure we built forces a direct biological response. It is actively and measurably rewiring their physical anatomy in real time. Los Angeles is a completely terraformed basin. The grassy plains and mammoth herds are gone, replaced by a dense grid of asphalt, concrete, and ornamental trees. The environment remains in a state of permanent, radical flux. This scale diagram brings the evolutionary timeline into focus. The 14-foot Territorn required a stable, massive caloric base and perished when it disappeared. The mid-sized scrub jay bypassed the collapse entirely by caching hundreds of acorns and remembering where it hid every single one. And the tiny hummingbird simply accelerates its own evolution to match the speed of human urban sprawl. Surviving on this planet requires extreme specialization. You either need the cognitive brilliance to outthink a changing environment, or the metabolic speed to mutate right alongside it. The traffic on Wilshire Boulevard hides 40,000 years of evidence pointing to a single conclusion. The sky above Los Angeles has never been empty. It has only changed tenants. So the next time a jay cracks an acorn on your patio or a hummingbird buzzes past your window, remember what you are actually looking at. You are watching the unbroken survivors of a 40,000-year gauntlet.